Smart plugs are easy to use and a great way to make your home smarter. But what if you're on a budget and looking for something that works and is not as expensive as the rest? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about the Kasa Smart Wi-Fi Plug Slim and why I think it just might be the best smart outlet you can get for your smart home. And later in the video, I have a bonus recommendation to share with you. Be sure to stick around for that. Kasa Smart is TP-Link's smart home line of products. These smart outlets can be had for only 50 bucks on Amazon for a 4-pack, but from what I've seen, there is a coupon available most times. So you can probably grab them for 40 bucks like I did. So that's only 10 bucks each. Now, as usual with all the stuff I talk about, I will leave links for you in the video description so you can go check them out for yourself, and maybe you can grab them for a better deal than I did. Hey, what's up? It's Andrew. Thanks for hanging out with me. On this channel, I talk about building a user-friendly smart home for everyone with Amazon and Apple HomeKit. If you're here because you're looking to build out your smart home, then I hope you consider subscribing so you can check out more videos like this one. Now, these have the typical specs we're used to in smart outlets. It connects using your 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi and works in any standard 15 amp outlet. They only take up the space of a single duplex in an outlet as opposed to some other options out there. So these are great if you can't afford to block unused outlets. And you can even use two in the same area, which I have actually never had to do. I actually like the Kasa Smart app too. It's no frills, but that makes it very intuitive to use. You set up your devices in there, you can schedule them, create automations using other Kasa Smart products, and even group devices together. Here, you can also view things like energy consumption because these babies have energy monitoring capability, and that's pretty good at this price point. Taking it even further, these will work with just about all the main smart home platforms: Amazon, Google, Samsung SmartThings, and even HomeKit. So for 40 bucks for a 4-pack, that makes these one of the best values on the market when it comes to HomeKit compatible smart plugs. They also sell a version that supports all these except for HomeKit for quite a bit cheaper, usually under 30 bucks. So if you don't want native HomeKit support, you can save even more money. Now, with Kasa Smart products until now, you would have needed to use Homebridge to integrate them with HomeKit, but these outlets are their first product that support HomeKit right out of the box, which in my opinion is fantastic. I do have other Kasa Smart products, a few switches, and they have been very reliable, and I have had to use Homebridge to get them into HomeKit. These outlets live up to that reliability expectation, so a fair amount of positives, especially the affordability, but a few drawbacks. The app is intuitive, but offers very limited automation options. I didn't expect much here, but there's just not a lot. Not a big deal though. You'll likely not need the app ever after initial setup if you're using a smart home assistant like me. Unless of course you want to view that plug's energy monitoring data because for some reason this information is not exposed to HomeKit or even Madam A, which makes it useless. You cannot use things like power consumption threshold or things like time powered on as a trigger for automations. So that information really isn't useful unless you're looking at the Kasa app, which for me is never. Now, in my experience, there were a few hiccups during setup. This could be an isolated issue with HomeKit or isolated issue as just user error, which is likely. Or the device I was using, because once I switched from my iPhone to my iPad, everything worked fine, including the plug connecting to my 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi on my mixed Wi-Fi network. I don't have 2.4 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz band separated, and it found the 2.4 gigahertz band and connected just fine. And lastly, just a word of caution to prevent you from looking silly in front of anyone that might be watching you set these up in HomeKit. You can set them up directly in HomeKit outside of the Kasa app, but that HomeKit code is on the bottom of the plug. So unless you're going to lay underneath the plug while you set it up, you should probably use an extension cord or a power strip or something so you can get it set up a lot easier. You're welcome. So I called this the best smart plug of 2022, and I don't know if that's true. I mean, only because I haven't tested all of them out there. Who has that kind of time? They are cheap, they work well, a nice small size, and are perfect for a multi-assistant home, like mine. I use them with both Madam A and HomeKit in my house, and so far, no issues. Also, smart plugs are a great way to easily add smart home capabilities to devices in your home that are not connected, like coffee pots, fans, space heaters, or lamps. They're easy to install and use and can always be moved easily to change up the use case or just relocate. These are also a great way to start a smart home, especially if you're trying to stick to a budget. Remember, only 40 bucks. Okay, time for that bonus recommendation, and it's another Kasa Smart outlet. This video not sponsored. The Kasa Outdoor Smart Dimmer Plug. Yep, it's an outdoor smart dimmer plug. Only for 30 bucks on Amazon, but this one I also got on sale. This plug is just as affordable as the indoor ones we talked about, but unfortunately, there's only one version and it works with just about everything but HomeKit. You'll need HomeBridge to connect it if you want to use it with HomeKit, which I do, and it works great. But it also works great with the others, and I also use it with Madam A. I use it for my outdoor back patio string lights, and the dimming feature works extremely well. You can even calibrate the dimming depending on what you're plugged into right in the Kasa app. I have a simple smart home automation setup where if my back patio door opens at night, it turns the lights on. You can set that automation up in Madam A or HomeKit as long as you have the right door sensor that supports each. And I'm using the Aqara door sensors, which does support both. But here's a cool idea for an automation I set up to be able to turn these lights off. I could use Siri or tell Madam A to do it, but maybe it's quiet time in the house and it would be nice to have a switch, and I don't have my phone handy. It just so happens I do have some smart light switches right by my back door, and when my string lights come on, my back patio light turns off because it doesn't really serve a purpose when those string lights are on. So I created a new automation that when you turn that light back on, the string lights will then turn off. Then I can always turn that light back off again if I wanted all the lights off. No need to add another switch. Automations can solve everything. So to wrap up, the Kasa Smart Wi-Fi Plug Slim, an inexpensive HomeKit smart plug option, and maybe the best smart plug of 2022. Simple, secure, and no additional monthly fees. That is a user-friendly smart home.